But it's kind of otherworldly, and I think that for Americans, including myself, who grew up in California, watching some of these things happen in Iowa, it felt kind of comical. Like, it felt theatrical. It felt performative. It's really not.
No.
And just coming here for the first time, I mean, you've been here several times. I feel like I've had this eye-opening experience because it's far more diverse politically, and it's actually diverse ethnically more than I thought that it was, and more than we see presented on mainstream news.
Well, sure, and this is why Iowa traditionally, for Republicans for a long time, for the first time now for Democrats, it's going to be South Carolina, has proved so important because the voters here are really engaged. You have a very diverse set of political viewpoints, even within the Democratic Party and even within the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And the other part about Iowa, and I think this was so interesting and why they take politics here so seriously, is that it's not just a primary election, it's a caucus. Actually going in the evening to somebody's house or to a school or to wherever, and caucusing takes time. And people here take that responsibility of picking the presidential candidates seriously, and then the presidential candidates come and really invest. And it's fun. It's fun to see them interact with people who really care and who have really interesting questions.
And people here are not afraid to ask those questions. They're not afraid to present their political views. I found that out very early on. People walk right up to you and tell you, you know, I didn't like that interview that you did, or I think you should have pushed more on this one. But then they'll also tell you exactly what they're thinking. And one gentleman, his name is John. He's a farmer, Cinnamon Ridge Farms, if you're interested, in Donahue, Iowa. He said, Adrienne, you can tell when some of these candidates are full of it, and we don't want any more fluff. We want authenticity. He said they need to know the difference between a soybean and a corn, seed, and they need to know the difference between manure and apple butter. And a lot of them show that they don't. What do you think is a good reason for them to come to the Iowa State Fair? Because it does reveal some of that authenticity, because you don't think as quickly with that rehearsed response when you're eating a corn dog.
Well, what I would say is that the more time that you force candidates to spend out with real people, and interacting and not just giving their stump speech, the more is revealed. And that's really what this is about, is revealing their real personality, how comfortable they are with voters. And we've seen across Iowa that the change, even over the past week in polling, in what's been revealed. Ron DeSantis, as he has spent more time here, his poll numbers have gone down. Tim Scott, as he has spent more time here, his poll numbers have gone up. Voters have a funny way of realizing who is and who is not full of whatever is left in the cow pasture.
And I wonder who's going to be most helped here, because we really didn't know a lot about Ron DeSantis personally until he decided to officially announce his run for the White House or for the nomination for the GOP. And then when he started to speak, it was a little bit awkward at times, which he'd been accused of before, a little, antisocial or not socially exactly savvy. But do you think he'll be loosening up a little bit more as he communes and fellowships with the people here in Des Moines?
You said the perfect word, which is authenticity. And what this experience reveals, and it's why it's so important for us to be here, it's why it's so important to spend time with candidates, not in a formal sit-down interview, not on set, but just walking with them through the fair, is it reveals who actually they are, and you can't fake that.
You can't hide it.
And you can't fake it in front of voters, and that is the issue. So we'll see, and I think what you're going to see here is, and we've seen it in Iowa over decades, is that the candidates who truly love it and truly can engage on a one-on-one basis can do very well here. Yeah. The candidates who are overly consulted and overly scripted and sort of always revert back to their talking points and don't particularly enjoy the process, that's revealed as well.
Former President Trump is going to be here.
Yep.
We just confirmed that with the president or the CEO of the fair. Yep. Do you think it's going to help anything?
Well, look, there's no one more popular right now in Iowa among Republicans than Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, we have to remember, is the guy who turned Iowa red. Barack Obama had won it in 2008, run it in 2012, and now won it, and then obviously it went red in 2016 and 2020. Donald Trump has a lot of loyalty here. He is somebody who is able to bridge and bring over a lot of rural Democrats, not necessarily on the issue of economy, but on the culture issues. And I think what we're seeing, especially in this election, is how much more of a role culture is playing in the discussion of sort of a viewpoint of America, not necessarily from a political standpoint, but politics is downstream of culture, and the culture of rural America is still very, very alive in Iowa, and people are proud of it, and they don't like being told not to be proud of it.
Yeah, and it's certainly Iowa proud. I cannot tell you, I'm telling you, I am so amazed at the strength and resilience of this community and the passion for politics here, but in a very humble way, a very palatable way.
Born, bred, and corn-fed.
Yes.
I'm from just south of here. I'm from Missouri.
That's
so,
right,
yeah.
St. Louis.
There you go.
Yeah, well,
people here.
somebody told me.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Yes, I love it. 45% vowels, 100% awesome is how I heard some people describe Iowa, but there's a lot of things you learn here. Kelly, Mark, you're going to send it back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.